Hello, everyone. It is Misha Green, DC editor, and I am really excited to be with the owners of Henry's Soul Cafe. We know it as a DC staple, as a way to get our soul food fix here in the area. But they're also doing a lot of amazing work. So we want to tell you guys about the work that they're doing, how we can get involved, particularly during the holiday season, but of course after. But y'all know the drill. Before we even get started and talk to Bernard and talk to Jermaine, we have a little bit of work to do on your side, which is sharing the stream. Y'all know the deal. Sharing is caring, as I always say. So I'm going to go ahead and share. I know the Henry's team is going to be doing the same, and then we'll be good to go. Okay. Okay. It always does this. I'll tag y'all later because I know that y'all are on social media, but I'll tag it later. Y'all good to go?
Yeah, great.
Okay, so Bernard, Jermaine, first of all, before we even get into the nitty gritty of the interview, we're in the middle of a pandemic still. How are y'all doing? How are you feeling?
We're absolutely great. We're taking it just like everybody else, just practicing the social distancing and staying safe. Operating the restaurants in the same manner. We're good.
Nice, nice. And can you tell us just a little bit before we get into some of the work that you've been up to? But you talked about operating the restaurants in a safe manner. We know that you guys are very important to the DMV. How have you guys managed during the pandemic? How has the restaurant and
Um,
the employees?
I actually, when the pandemic first hit, for lack of better words, I was very proactive in making sure that we were compliant with what they were planning on doing. That so things that they were talking about doing, he was already in the forefront of putting those things in place. So we moved to no cash, one customer at a time. We shut down our dining area. Like I said, only credit cards. And that was even before the mandates came, because we have an obligation to feed so many people, and we as restaurant owners, we know that this business is really catered towards people that some people just can't cook. Some people don't even have stoves or ovens at home to cook. So we have an obligation to be open and to serve the public at the best capacity. So he was very proactive in that, and so then on the other side, I started just moving our systems more towards how can we do a better job at online ordering, so you don't have to come in, and you don't have to necessarily wait as long because of we don't have a dining area or whatever. So we were pretty good at catching a good rhythm or a good program before it kind of went hectic.
And I think our customers also, as we made that change, we didn't get it. They were very cooperative, very patient. Even till today, we have the whole program in place where sometimes there's a line outside, and they're standing there patiently waiting. We put heaters outside, overhead heaters for them, as they line up around the building. And I think they've been pretty patient with the whole process also.
Well, we gotta be. We have to be patient customers in order to ensure that we're getting the good food. Again, for those that are just tuning in, I'm live with the owners of Henry's Soul Cafe. We got a lot to talk to Bernard and Jermaine about today because they're some busy people. But tell us your story. I know that you guys have an interesting story and how you guys sort of became business partners. How did you guys even cross paths? And become the successful men that you are today?
So you want the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
It was actually, it was just actually haphazardly, to be honest with you. I was on a brief vacation in the Pocono Mountains. He was working with Riddick Bowe at the time, and we crossed paths there, met, introduced. And maybe about 3 months later, he comes into the restaurant on U Street, and we like, I know you, but I can't remember where I know you from. And so we connected then, we exchanged numbers or whatever, and it was just an organic friendship that grew because we had a lot of the same outlooks on life and goals that we were interested in. So it kind of grew organically. And, friends came into brothers, and the next thing you know, everybody thinks that, we're blood related, and we're actually not, but we're just as probably more brothers than any two blood brothers like there are. And so that's really how it kind of came together. And then as far as from the business aspect, he was doing different business ventures. I was doing different business ventures, and we would collaborate on the different ones that we were doing at the time. And there was a time I was at Howard University. He was still working with heavyweight champion world Riddick Bowe, and two young guys, young and dumb, said, I'm opening up a restaurant, another Henry's. And, without hesitation, he was like, all right, I'm with you. And it kind of just, for me, growing up in the restaurant business, my dad is Henry.
Right.
For me, everything was kind of like, it was just like knowing it from the back of my hand. So that's what we ventured into. And it probably was, without the shadow of a doubt, the best decision business-wise both of us have ever made.
The only thing I definitely second guessed about him was when we found the building. The building was empty for 4 or 5 years or longer. Wow, no windows. It was terrible. I'm like, man, I don't really want to go in there and try to open this business up in here. Right. He was like, I'm telling you, it's gonna work. Trust me, it's gonna work. Right. And then we sold both our vehicles.
Sold both our cars.
And I think we started this whole operation with like $40,000 or something, 25 total. So started the whole operation with that, and here we are today.
Wow, what a testimony and inspiration. I gotta ask again, taking it back down memory lane a little bit for you guys. But Jermaine, you talked about the fact that you grew up in the restaurant industry, but from what I know, you were managing artists. Bernard, you were working, in the boxing arena, and in the athletic arena, both as managers, but like you said, your dad is Henry, you grew up in the industry, but what really made you guys say, yeah, restaurant industry, let's continue this? And then, goodness, almost over 2 decades later, you're thriving and remaining integral to Washington, D.C.'s community.
It was, honestly, it was probably instant success. And when I say instant success, everything else that we were doing did not require us to be physically hands-on. And so from the first day of opening, we were busy. We were
sold out of food.
Yeah, we sold out of food, had customers, and it was an absolute hustle, because there still was formidably some doubt in, of course, as you start any business. So he was still working at the time. As a matter of fact, he had started working. He was a car salesman for Mercedes. And then I was at Howard University and still working at the other store in DC, and then still managing my communications company as well. And so with that being said, we were kind of like 2 feet in, but not fully in, because we didn't trust. our path, but due to customer response, it pulled us away from everything else we were doing. So we were 100% in just running the restaurant business. So he would come in, we would both come in at like 6 o'clock in the morning, prep the store. I would leave and go to school because I was still in college. He would stay until 4. My last class ended at 3:30. I would leave school, get to the store, and I would do the night shift, and then he would go to Herb Gordon to sell Mercedes because we were still trying to keep everything afloat. And then eventually he realized he didn't need Mercedes, and I realized that I couldn't have time at the other restaurant because my dad was, I had a check coming over there. And so, and then with the communications company, to be honest with you, luckily that was kind of dwindling out because it was really, pagers, and pagers was converting to cell phones. And then it was just all timing. It was all heaven sent.
Wow. And so, looking back from the place that you are now, obviously it was the right decision. Obviously, like you said, it was God's timing. But I see a lot of entrepreneurs now who aren't necessarily able to take that jump or don't feel comfortable in taking that leap. One, what would your advice be to an entrepreneur in 2020 with the climate that we're in? But two, again, how were you sure that was your right decision? How did you know to follow God's timing?
Well, I don't think we were actually sure until it actually came to fruition. But we just jumped out there on faith and knew we were going to put our all into it so that if it didn't work, we could have said we put everything we had into it. And it was Henry, his father, had pretty much laid the foundation. So we just pretty much took the ball and started running with it because there was a customer base there for Henry Soul Cafe. There were customers that were already familiar with the sweet potato pies. We just took it and glorified it a lot larger than what it was at the current time.
And so to add to that, our advice is we never had, and this is going to probably be an oxymoron, but we never had a true business plan. We never sat down and said, this is the red, this is the green, this is the black. We never had that formidable plan where the plan was to work. The plan was we know what we wanted out of life, and we know that it was going to take some hard work. Now, there were times, don't get us wrong, there were times when the employees got paid and we didn't. We never missed payroll, even if we missed payroll for ourselves. So the vision was clear. The work was hard. The advice that we would give, I know specifically for me, I would give is that it's not really about the money. The money is going to come due to your diligence and hard work. And so a lot of times people give up on the business because they are not seeing the money that they wrote on paper that they were supposed to have. Well, your realistic business plan was unrealistic from the start. Your business plan didn't tell you that next week you're going to have to pay your employees, but you won't have any money to pay yourself. So if you go for 2 or 3 weeks paying employees, which as business owners, it's your job to find jobs for other people and to make sure that other people flourish as well because they depend on you. Well, if a few of those weeks go by, then you judge and challenge yourself and you get away from the vision. You say, what, I'm just going to close this up and go find me a job. And the reality is that no, it was right over the next hump. It was right over the next hump. And you said, nah, I'm going to quit. I'm going about my business. I don't care about those employees. We care about our employees more than we care about ourselves.
So basically, we crossed that bridge and we burned the bridge behind us. We ain't going back. So we just had to stay focused and continue to go forward.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for the inspiration. Look, for those tuning in, again, I have Jermaine Bernard of the owners of Henry Soul Cafe. And we're talking about their trajectory, how they got to where they are. But we're also talking about the hard work that they're doing even today. Gosh, I'm trying to do the math in my head. 23 years since since you guys became business partners. Wow, it's so crazy because I grew up either riding with my parents to Oxon Hill as we get our plate, or going to U Street or whatever. So it's just so amazing to hear the story and the work behind it, because we just get to enjoy the food. To know that there's been such passion behind the work. Of course, it's clear in the culinary experience, but it's great to hear the story. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to all those watching. I see Jewel, I see some of our other loyal fans tuning in. Again, please make sure you share. I want to let y'all now go ahead and throw some comments and questions in the comment section. I will try to get to you before the end of this interview. But let's pivot a little bit. You all have been feeding thousands of people since the beginning of the pandemic and giving back to our community. One, I just want to thank you and commend you for that. We know that businesses are really suffering. So the fact that not only, are you, I know, working to manage your own business, but then giving back to the community is really, really just inspiring work. So thank you for that. But can you tell us about what you're doing?
Well, we've actually, before the pandemic, had given a lot back to the community with a lot of sponsorships and programs that we helped put in place, whether it was sending the high school students to Annapolis for mock trials so they show how the government works, sponsoring that, feeding the football teams
every day,
every practice, every game,
disadvantaged football
for years. Because they were in certain areas or they were in certain situations where they just couldn't afford to get the proper meals to have the energy to be able to play at their best. It's just so many things that we've done in the past, but since the pandemic, knowing the need that was out there, we started feeding people every day. We started with the hospitals, the doctors and nurses. We've done several of those where we did the whole hospital. What else?
The hospitals, just the people walking the streets where we see the direct need. We would just get in our cars, and still do today, getting our cars, getting our vans or our trucks or whatever, and we'll go and just load it up. We'll pull up. We see people on the side of the street, and we just pass out meals. Just give them meals from our hand to their hands. And it's, like he said, it's something that our heart has led us to do from day one. This isn't new for us. What is new for us, to be quite honest with you, is this, because we've never been the guys to publicize or just to make mention of everything that we've done, because we just do it. We don't do it because we see cameras. We don't do it because we see, TV or radio or thinking that we're going to get something back. It's just in us inevitably to do it. We have the exact same heart for people. It's almost impossible to be in a hospitality business and not have a heart for people. A lot of times, I'll tell people in a minute, it's hard for me to be in the restaurant because I would actually give everything away if I could. If it was feasibly possible for me to give everything away. There's not a child that I have come across in the restaurant and they say that they haven't had the sweet potato pie or don't like sweet potato pie that I haven't given a slice to. And people say, well, I'm smart. I know this. If you eat that pie at 2 years old, you're going to want that pie for the rest of your life because this is the best sweet potato pie in the world. And so you're going to have a craving for it. But above and beyond that, it's just our heart to just give. It's like when you come into Henry's, it's like you're coming into our home, to our dining room table. And, when someone comes to your home, you want them to feel great and eat and be nourished. And so we've been giving away food for such a long time and a part of so many different lives of people. And it actually, I witnessed my dad do the same thing for years. I look back from, I'm college educated. My dad was not. But I look back and I'm saying to myself, how did he ever turn a profit? To be honest with you, he and I look back sometimes and we say, how were we turning a profit? How were we paying the bills here? And we really don't have an answer for it because, like I said, there's no written how to do this book.
When you're giving back like this, and you're doing it from the heart. You really don't know what you've done over time because you just do it. We went to, I think it was a church event, and a local church next by us came up and said, "Hey, we want to give you guys awards." We're like, "Award for what?" Right. So we go over there to get the award, and it was so many people that were saying, "Oh, well, you did this for my cousin and my nephew and my grandson," and I looked at them and I said, "Oh, so people have been paying attention to what we've been doing because we were just doing it whether they were paying attention or not." And realizing, oh wow, so this is affecting and helping others. And
watch this, even to go a step further, I've been into places and he's been into places, and people have said, "Oh, you did a great job on, we appreciate the food that you gave us," and I'll just have to say, "You're welcome." And it's something that he's done
he'll call me
that I didn't know.
Did you do that?
And then it'll be vice versa because he's done something that I didn't know, because we don't look at each other as, we gave it from our heart. It wasn't for the publicity. So he didn't tell me when he was doing something. I didn't tell him when I was doing something. But at the end, both of us benefit regardless.
Yeah. And the community benefits, which I think is the biggest reward. And again, I cannot thank you guys enough. For those tuning in, we have Bernard Brooks and Jermaine Smith, owners of Henry's Soul Cafe. Tell us about this moment where you got now former Wizard John Wall to join the awesome work that you guys do in giving back. Did he hear about the football teams that you were feeding? Did he hear about the hospital? How did you guys even connect with him, and how did he join?
So I'll start it, and I'm gonna let him finish it. Again, we've been doing that since he first came.
Before he came.
Before he came to the Wizards, we were already with the Wizards doing what we were doing. When he was drafted, I think this is John's 10th year. How old is he? 29. It's like 30.
He was in Pampers. He was doing this. He was in Pampers.
So we actually was helping and doing things for his foundation through some people that are connected to him that he didn't know. Like we know that, God rest her soul, his mom's favorite meal was barbecue chicken. So there's times when I sent barbecue chicken and greens and macaroni and cheese to the house. He didn't know I was sending it. He just know it came, and it's because we thought of her and thought of him. And so, but then he connected the dots with, oh, those are guys, but Bernie will go and expound on how the whole thing, just this Thanksgiving, came up.
So we over the past years, we've done turkey giveaways with the Wizards and different things through their marketing department with Sasia Jones and several others over there. John and I reached out and said, hey, we would like to try to partner up to do a something for Thanksgiving. So we have a facility that we
Newly open.
a newly open facility that we do. Only it's not open to the public. It's our headquarter office and kitchens and all that stuff. So we said, hey, well, we got a new facility. Why don't we do it here? And it's it's off Alabama Avenue. So
Which is 2 minutes from their new facility.
right up the street. So where they practice there now.
Yeah,
So I think they came over and we fed 1,000 meals in about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes.
It was
Started at 4. By 1:30, 2 o'clock, people had already started lining up.
Mhm.
Wow.
So it was a great turnout, and he was really like he stayed from the beginning
To the end.
until the end.
Right.
I mean, they were saying, hey, John, it's COVID. You need this getting cold outside, and he stood out. Started taking pictures, started signing autographs. I mean, he was
hands.
Yeah, he went real good, dude. Went way above.
Because we've done
participate.
Yeah, we've done several things like that with several organizations, and oftentimes we found ourselves, being the forefront, and the star has left and gone home. But I can say and vouch for him just as he is. Mm-hmm. He was hands on. He didn't cook anything, but he touched every single one of those 1,000 meals that went out.
He did this because he wanted to,
right?
For sure. And we like to work with people like that. We don't really. It's not a good feeling to work with someone that's giving because someone is telling him it's a good look.
So
he
side note,
because he wanted to.
So side note, when you get traded and now Russell Westbrook is supposed to take his place, I'm putting this on you, Russell. You're going to have to be just as good to this city as John Wall was. We're coming for you. You have a big demand on you now.
I mean, it was people that came up and was like, hey, nobody's never come over here in this hood and stood outside on our corner and passed out food and showed us love like he did.
Right.
I mean, so inspiring, so incredibly inspiring. And Russell Westbrook, you better look at this and know that you have been called out and challenged. Again, just to hear the amount of work that you guys are doing. And of course, shout out to John Wall and his 10 years here and giving back to the community. Thank you guys so much. It is time. I have not forgotten about all the people who are tuning in and sharing. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I am now going to try to read the comments. Jewel, hello, Jewel. How are you doing? Good morning, Afro. And she says, God bless you, men. Great work, surely in need now. To God be the glory. Tanya Fletcher says, your business will never lack because your heart towards the people and your humility.
Is that the Tanya Fletcher?
It's looking like the Tanya Fletcher.
I see her picture on the thing. She's actually a great asset to the Henry's community. I met her at church. She goes to our church as well, but she was part of my dad's funeral. And she's a great person. She's doing a lot of things in the community as well. So shout out to her.
Before I go off, the people who are other people, indeed, great.
You're breaking up.
You're stuck a little bit. I don't know. Something's going on. Hi, Kareem. We've lost some form of connection. You're stuck right now. Hey, Charles. Hey, Kareem. I'm not sure what's going on. We're just going to say hi.
All right, am I back?
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
Right.
We're back.
Look, just as we were wrapping up too. That's a sign.
We saw some great names up there. Kareem Muhammad. He's helped us out tremendously. Yes. He's a brother from another mother as well. Charles Valentine, I know him. He's delivered pizzas to my dad at his home several times. He's a great guy. Jewel, we're seeing some great people. I mean, that, you know, I'm seeing the face, may not have known the name, but, you know, we're seeing the faces. It's great.
Well, that
it's going out again. It's going out again. No, you're not back. No.
No, you're still messing up.
Now you're coming through choppy. It's coming through choppy.
Thank you so much for joining us live today. My name is Dana Peck. I'm Director of Digital Solutions for the Afro, and you brothers have loved hearing these great positive stories. We had a week of great brothers this week live with Misha. Misha will be coming back soon to end this broadcast. I want to thank all of our listeners and remind you that during this season, the Afro also needs your support. The Afro's been around for over 128 years telling our story, and we want to be able to continue to tell our story. And so please continue to support, like our page, and comment. And we just love all of our regular watchers and readers, and appreciate you this special time during this holiday season. And I believe Misha is back.
All right.
I am back. I am hoping that the enemy does not shut us down again. Of course, it's right as we're wrapping up, right?
Right.
But I heard, thank you so much, Dana. Dana is a superstar, guys. I hope everybody has a Dana in their life and business and work. So thank you so much, Dana. I really appreciate you jumping in. And again, thank you to all of our Afro viewers who are bearing with us. Again, 10 months into the pandemic, we are still figuring out how we shift and shape outside of our studios. So thank you guys for that. We were wrapping up, but I have to ask, Jermaine, you mentioned your dad, and his legacy, of course, is so incredibly important. How do you guys ensure that you honor your father's legacy every day? And Jermaine, we'll start with you, since as the man who raised you.
So for me, it's one of those things where, you know, my dad passed, and, you know, fortunately, I literally still have to say his name every day. And so I get the privilege of saying that name every day, that, you know, and it's funny because when you know, in the restaurant, you know, I called him Dad, you know, and everyone else knew him as Henry. When I was growing up, people used to call me Little Henry. And I didn't like it. I was like, my name is Jermaine. and you know, I've embraced it. People say I'm starting to look like him now. And so we changed the logo some months ago. And so now our logo encompasses his likeness and holding the sweet potato pie. So we adopted that logo. Every time I get to, you know, make a batch of sweet potato pies, you know, I'll taste it with my finger. And I don't dip it. I don't double dip. I just taste it with my finger. Okay.
Everyone's like, COVID.
Because that's what my dad would do every time he made a batch. So I don't get a chance to. I've never gotten a chance to miss him because I'm with him every day. And so I mean that from the heart. Like it's been such a pleasure to. It's crazy, like every day. So it's find something to laugh about. So it's been good. It's been good, like every day. That's what we do.
Yep.
You know, Bernard is
for sure. Thank you.
Bernard is actually a gift to me to be able to do this as well. It's been good. Talk about something else.
We'll talk about something else. But
no, I'm just kidding. We can stay there. It only lasts for like 30 seconds.
No, I mean, but I'm happy that you said every single day. You don't have the true if you will, ability to fully grieve him and fully miss him, because you live and walk in his legacy, quite literally and physically every single day.
I'll add this as well. So just to show you a piece of dedication, this guy here has not missed one day from this place since COVID. And the only reason why I've missed a day or a few days is because I had to travel due to other things that I'm involved with. And I'll take this. He has probably had to travel, but he opted not to, but has not missed one day since the first mandate, not one.
Wow.
He comes in late, but he doesn't miss a day.
But that's, I guess that is a great way to wrap, because how do you have that level of dedication, and how can you sort of push that for the other people that are watching? How can you impart some of that wisdom for them?
I have a saying that actually is on my gym wall. Is life comes in forms of opportunities that are easy to recognize once they've been wasted. And I kind of try to live by that I don't want to, decide I'm going to not go to work today to go out and do something I can do later or the next day, and sit around next year and say, I wish I would have went to work and made sure my business was running properly, because now I'm closed. So, a lot of times I just try to, hunker down and fully commit myself so that later I won't be saying to myself, if I would have. So if anything turns left with certain things that I'm doing, I can pretty much say, hey, I gave it my all for sure. I couldn't do anything else to keep it afloat. So that's kind of my mindset on staying focused on what's going on.
And to add that, you have to have the ability to adapt to change. If you ask me the day he came to me and said we need to just open up one side or we need to just close because we need to be doing this over here, I said, well, no, we can't close, but we let's do it like this and let's change. And so we collaborated and figured out a way to serve the people every day. And some businesses just haven't tried to adapt to change. And that's why they're closing, because they're putting themselves first instead of the customer first. You put the customer first, adapt to the change to be able to serve them. You can't expect people to just still come to you just because the doors are open. You have to adapt to the changes that are being made around you and make it comfortable for them, because outside of these doors, we're customers somewhere else.
Great point. And before we completely transition outside of these doors, if you will, as you said before, Jermaine, I know you talked about the fact that you've been traveling for other projects that you have going on. I know both of you guys stay busy. I know a little birdie told me, Jermaine, that you also have produced 6 feature films. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Again, amazing. We got to have you on to talk further about that. But one is in our faces always right now, and that is holiday heartbreak. I have seen a lot of promotion for that. Really excited about it. And again, I don't know you guys' process for when it started, but boy, does it seem like the right movie for now.
We filmed that movie. We filmed that movie literally. It's the quickest movie we've ever turned around. I have a great team, Mega Mind Media with Tressa Smallwood and Dante Lee, who's another great friend of mine and great partner. And we literally, it's the fastest movie we've ever turned around. It's the first movie that I probably cast probably 80% of the film. So it'd be my first time actually casting a film. Because it was actually a comedy. So I brought in a lot of the comics and then a lot of the people to kind of coincide with the comics. We filmed it back in June, July. And we turned it around, got it edited, and we knew it was going to go live in December. And we were able to get it done. It's a great film. Stars Michael Collier, Lisa Ray, Country Wayne, B. Simone, a local artist by the name of Rob Gordon that I'm having the pleasure of working with now. Absolute great cast. I know I'm missing AJ Johnson, from the original House Party film, and played alongside Tisha Campbell. Great actors and actresses. It was a great film, great to be a part of. We just finished filming another movie just last week starring Bill Bellamy, and that movie won't be out till next because it's another Christmas film. But that team of mine, we're doing some great things. And Bertie told me that Bernie has some things he's working on. His son is like one of the major DJs in the area, owning a record company, and they have some great things going on as well. A lot of things like this, we just do it. So it's not, I guess it's public knowledge if you go look for it. But we appreciate you for having us to be able to put it on this platform and talk about it.
It seems like that is you guys' approach, just doing it and putting in the good work so that it is a quality product. Bernie, can you give us a little bit of a plug about what you got going on before we wrap today?
Yeah, well, my son is a DJ in 30 markets, and he has
syndicated.
Yeah, he owns his own syndication.
Before 25.
What?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask, how do you have a son that age? But you answered it. Okay, so before 25. That again is
Hit records.
Wow.
He started on radio at 18. Once he like a week after his birthday, because he couldn't be on radio live until he was 18. Yeah, and he has a worldwide distribution deal. So it's just some things going on.
Look, I as soon as things are solidified, I would love to have a father-son moment on Afro Live. So if we can have that happen, please let us know. Jermaine, any way that you would have the cast or whatever, by all means, we would love
absolutely
to have them on.
Absolutely. All of our films are filmed here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. That was our goal from the start, to film them here. I have a really big film that I want to film here that actually encompasses everything about DC. It has an unbelievable cast. It's Mike Epps. It's Comedian Earthquake, which I personally manage. It's 85 South, which is DC Young Fly. Cheryl Underwood, Dominique, some more. Bill Bellamy as well has also signed up. It has a cast that is unbelievable. That's going to be my biggest film. That's the baby in my pocket. It's going to be great.
Sounds awesome. I can't wait to hear about it. So please promise us, come back, tell us all about it, and know that the Afro, the DMV, and all those tuning in, the Afro's viewership is all around the world. So
we're not the guys that's from somewhere else. We're born, bred, and raised here in the DMV. Like we're one of the businesses that keep the money in the community.
Yeah.
We actually haven't locked the date in yet. I really wanted to try to do it before Christmas, but just timing it just got away. So probably the first or second week after the first of the year, we'll be doing another food giveaway with Genuine.
Wow, another hometown hero.
Yes.
I love that you guys keep it in the community. And please let us know. This is stuff that we can be live and covering as well. And starting to talk to some of the people who are there and actually being impacted from the work that you're doing. But as I say, I was 6 when your Oxon Hill location opened. And I mean, Henry's has been incredibly important to my livelihood growing up. I don't want to be wrong, and I'm sure if I'm wrong, someone will correct me later, but I'm pretty sure Henry's even catered my grandmother's, and I know for sure tons of family events. So we're just so incredibly.
We appreciate your support. Thank you for the support and the continued support.
Thank you. And you guys know, we are the Black Media Authority. Thank you to all those who tuned in. This is supposed to be a 30-minute conversation. We're almost headed to the hour mark, but that's because of the work that Jermaine Smith and Bernard Brooks are doing and have been doing for many decades. We thank you guys. We will continue supporting Henry Soul Cafe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take care.